Welcome back to Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists. Bing, bang, boom, zip, zap, zoop. We're building a house today.
We sat down with 4 of the 5 Property Quintuplets, a very popular HGTV show that takes 5 quintuplets, puts them in a house, and lets them completely renovate the entire thing.
Home makeover television has taken over America since the early 2000s.
So pull up that hammer, take out those nails, and let's get to work. Let's listen in. This space is amazing.
Wow, yeah. This is good.
Yeah, this is good.
We're going to have to explain to the listener what we're doing in this little cubby over here.
You guys will not believe this, but we are actually on the ground floor. We are in one of the houses we are remodeling.
That's true. We are getting a behind-the-scenes look. This is a live quintuplet. Oh, no, I'm already hopped up on all this lead paint.
Oh, man. Chippy, you're in the paint all the
Chippy's
time.
in the paint.
Chippy's in the paint.
Chippy's
Get
in the
out of
paint
the
again.
paint,
By the way,
Chippy.
Chippy's in the paint shirts available on propertyquintuplets.com.
And T-Republic.
Yeah.
We love the guys at T-Republic. Those are some good guys.
We
They're
Such
great
good guys.
guys at Society 6 as well. I don't want to.
Let's not
Oh, we
limit
love those
ourselves.
girls.
I love
Girls are there.
We love the girls at
the
Society
girls
6.
and guys at Society 6 really, really are
Can I
great.
shout out the non-binaries at Cafe Press?
Yeah.
You can.
We
You can
love the
definitely
theys
do-
at Cafe
We
Press.
love the theys at Cafe Press.
And the he-hims at Redbubble
We love
are
the
some of my favorite he-hims in the world.
Absolutely.
I'll
Now that
go.
we got that settled.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome listeners into our home. Not our home per se. We're renovating the home of Jen and Jack Duffy. They are 2 brokers from Wisconsin, and we are in their house today, and we are going to give them a big surprise.
We're coming here live from Buckle Falls, Wisconsin. We have been working here for a long time. The Property Quintuplets, if you watch the show, you know exactly what it is. But the 5 of us come in. We got 5 days to renovate a house. We spend 5 days turning it inside out. We all have a specialty to it. And then we get the couple back in, and we change their lives forever.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should go around and tell the listeners what our specialties are. I'm Chippy. I do paint.
Hey guys, I'm Jeffrey, and I do relationships and confidence building for the house.
I'm Deborah. I do plumbing.
And my name's Cody. I do the front door.
Now, you guys might notice that one of our brothers, unfortunately, aren't here.
Yeah. Arnie is the one who normally does the rest of the house.
Yeah,
So
electrician work, plumbing work.
he comes in on the 5th day.
Foundation.
And
Yeah,
he
he
sort
does-
of does the rest.
A lot of the core of the house is our other brother who
He does the
couldn't-
inspection, too. Well, and that's why he's not here. He is a full-time inspector.
Yeah, and then the network and the city decided it was a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also so shy. And that's what's so different because I think, first time all of us were in front of a camera, we just immediately,
Lit up.
We lit
all
up.
four of us. Remember the first time we were in front of a camera? Our mom, she brought one home from her work. She was a camera woman in a multicam.
And
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day,
yeah,
And one
the-
day,
and
she
the multicam
accidentally brought
was-
it home.
She accidentally.
It was what was that multicam mom was on? Was it Frasier?
I think it was.
I think it must have been Frasier.
And I think that was one of those big cameras that's like 80 pounds.
I think instead of driving her car home, she drove the camera.
Well, yeah, because she had those harnesses always.
I think she pulled in the driveway. She said, "This isn't my Corolla."
Because that's what they don't talk about. Is back then in the 80s, those sitcom cameras, they would operate.
fly.
And they would go from stage to stage.
They're big. They are big.
And Crazy Mom was so tired that day, she was in over her head.
I remember we saw. I remember Chippy immediately was like, "That's not the car," and we all ran out. It was
Yeah.
sunset, I remember, and we were all looking at this camera, and we were obsessed with it. And a stray dog came by, and we said, "We don't have time for that," because we were looking at the
Normally
camera.
we have time for stray
Yeah.
dogs. Normally
we'll give
when
a
a stray dog comes
If
stray
you
over,
dog will
knew
give
us-
it some time.
If
If
you knew
you
us,
knew
you,
us.
knew how, you would know how rare that is. That we would
Exactly.
say, "There's no time."
Exactly.
because
And what was
we're
even
obsessed with stray dogs.
And what was even crazier was here she is driving this camera home, and then she And then we get in front of it and go, Mom, that's not your car. And she goes, holy shit, look at you guys on camera. And that's when we popped.
Yeah.
And this camera was on and rolling by the time she parked.
Do you think Mom was kind of relieved that we sort of did that? Because I just feel like, she gave birth to quintuplets. She did it all on her own. All on her own.
A single mom of quintuplets.
Single mom of quintuplets.
And it was tough. It was tough for her, for sure. You know? Long nights at the studio, us kind of taking care of each other and taking care of ourselves in a big way.
Yeah.
You know?
In a huge way. I think that's why, I picked up my first plunger because Mom was pulling a 12-hour day.
Yeah,
right?
we all kind of had different jobs where
Around
we
the
had
house.
to take each other.
Yeah.
We had to take care of each
And
other.
I fell in love with front doors because I sat in front of it waiting so long for her to come back. I began to memorize the grooves. And I remember thinking, wow, this is really beautiful. There's something beautiful about this front door.
I felt
Yeah.
the exact same way. It's kind of how I fell into giving houses confidence. It's a
We should
big
definitely
thing.
talk about
We should
that.
talk
Yeah.
about this because I think that's what our show has that I think a lot of home makeover shows don't have
Yeah.
is a huge part of what you do.
Thank you. No, thank you. It's great. I just love this team so much. Arnie included. I feel like we're a really good team.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I can bring something so special, and something so important that I don't see a lot of houses receiving. They'll get these lift ups, they'll get these makeovers, they'll get a new awning. But what they're missing fundamentally is a belief in themselves, So that's what I really like to do, like go into a living room and just feel the energy and understand maybe this house needs to go on a little bit of like a date with somebody,
Yeah.
or maybe this house needs to remember that it's the mom's trauma,
You've been really working this house that we're
Yeah.
in right now.
Oh,
This-
yeah.
The confidence is just through the basement.
You guys
on
can
this
see
house.
it. You guys walked in and said, usually I'm the one that senses it, but I could tell. All three of you guys walked in and said, this house needs confidence.
I said this
Yeah.
house is a sub. This house is an absolute sub. It
Yeah.
is not going to be doing anything. It's probably going to be paying some sort of financial dominatrix if it wants to.
Yeah.
It wants to
Wow.
get punished.
Wow.
If-
it needs to start taking control of its
Yeah.
life.
This
Yeah.
dog's
No, it
absolutely.
does. It
this-
does.
This house is a pay piggy, and it's so obvious.
It's such a pay piggy, and you
Yeah.
know that when you walk in the door.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But I've seen you do so much to different homes and their
Thank you.
confidence.
No,
I mean,
thank you.
that one time you taught that townhouse about its inherent ignorance.
No, that was big.
was
That was
crazy.
really tough.
That
it was a
crazy.
rough episode because at the beginning the townhouse didn't get it. It was defensive
Yeah.
and it didn't want to hear
You
it.
could
It
see
didn't
it in
wanna
its
hear
eyes.
You can
Yeah.
see it.
But I
Yeah,
had to
didn't wanna
teach
hear
it.
it.
Windows.
Townhouse, you've got some ignorances. You've got some history that you're a little afraid to look at. And once you get past these, we can start on growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let's talk about how you notice that there's change, because in a house, it's not a living thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you notice the house has overcome its ignorance?
Oh, it's easy. It's how they creak. You can always tell a house's confidence by how they creak.
So would
Okay.
you say newer houses that don't creak, would you say they're fine mentally?
But sometimes not. Sometimes it's a wall. You can tell. You step in a new house and it goes tick instead of a rick, and wow, what is this wall we have to break down?
Yeah.
Who
Ugh.
put this hard wall
Yeah.
on you? Let down your armor,
There's nobody like you, brother. There is nobody like you.
Well, let's get into plumbing. Come on.
Oh, thanks, guys.
You are a whiz at plumbing.
It just came easy. I think it just came easy because Mom was gone. She was on set at Frasier. And when we grew up in a little home, that was a stink pile. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how disgusting that house was.
Yeah.
Okay. We grew up in a disgusting home, and the pipes were all over the place. And that's when I
Yeah.
first started to fall in love with pipes.
Our
It-
house was right next to the garbage. It
Yeah.
was smelly
Yeah.
And most houses are right next to its own respective garbage, but we lived next to a big pile.
Of
Our
garbage.
neighborhood had a special HOA where they
Yeah.
decided that one house per year they would draw straws, and everyone had to put their garbage in front of that one
And
house.
our house
Absolutely.
lost every year.
We lost every
so much
year.
so that I've been thinking about it. Maybe it was rigged.
It feels a little rigged. Looking back, it feels a little
Yeah.
rigged.
The more I think about it, it feels rigged.
Yeah, it must be rigged.
It just
That's
feels
exactly what I've been thinking.
Yeah, I've been thinking it's rigged.
They didn't make it easy for Mom. You
No.
know?
No,
They
no,
really
no.
didn't.
Nobody
almost felt
did.
like they were against her rather than trying to support her.
Yeah.
Well, we were working in a working class neighborhood, and they all saw her as a big hotshot working on a TV show.
Yeah.
And for us, we know that the camera people are the ones that are looked down on in TV shows.
Mhm.
So she is kind of a woman of no nation.
She's not winning either way. but that's when I think all of us just like put paper to pavement. You know what they say?
Yeah.
And we just
put our paper on the pavement.
we put our paper
and we
on the
started
pavement, and we
writing up contracts.
and we just started
for
working
houses
and working.
and,
Yeah. I think I'm an emotional person. You see that in our show. I'm very emotional, and there's something about the way pipes connect to each other that makes me just go back to just logic, and it takes me out of the emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And plumbing is such a just like 2 + 2 = 4. There's no like overthinking it, and that's why your job is so mysterious to me, because I love the simple things in life. I love figuring out the way something flushes, the way a garbage disposal works or it doesn't work, and figuring out the reasons why. I love that, and that's what brings me a lot of joy.
And it's so great to see you when you talk about plumbing. You come alive, because I would say 80% of the rest of the time you are crying.
It's
No,
tough
for
to
sure.
watch, yeah.
For sure. And
It's hard for me to be around.
yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
all of you have to experience it. And no matter what, I can't stop it from coming. And it will come. You know what I mean?
But
An
it
emotional-
came in handy in our pitch, I will say, with HGTV. They absolutely loved it. We came to them and we said, we're 5 brothers. We have an idea. And I think they were a little put off by how intense we were.
For sure. I mean,
And they were ready to close the door until you
Yes.
brought out the
That
waterworks.
beautiful door.
that beautiful door that you had. Well, I think our pitch, we really opened in big because we walked through the door of the pitch and then brought in another door. Do you want to
Exactly.
explain
Yeah.
your
Let's
idea?
go
on
into
that
the pitch of how we got the
But
show.
like you really we came in with a door.
Yeah.
So people like to say, let's storyboard it or come up with a pitch deck. We don't make decks, we make houses, right? And so
So sometimes we will make a deck.
So what you don't know is
We don't really believe in decks from a design philosophy,
No.
but
No, that's
no,
not us.
we just
That's
don't
not us.
believe in decks.
yeah.
We don't believe in them. You're either
They
inside
can't be
or you're
saved.
outside. I believe in a house and I believe in a yard.
Look, if you're a person
I
that
believe in
brings
a-
up a deck, don't. It's not what you're going to get with us.
And a
We're gonna
patio,
get a
fine.
house, yeah.
Sure, a patio.
The community's tried to cancel me for this. I've been on record. I don't believe in decks. I believe in houses and yards. I
And
believe in-
God.
and then God. And I believe God gave us yards and God gave us houses.
And God gave us inside and outside.
Exactly.
God didn't give us an in between.
No, there is no in between. Either you're in or you're out. I'm decisive, right? But when it comes to pitching a show, a lot of people don't know this. I mean, the mysterious process of pitching a show at HGTV. Not a lot of people know how to do this. But usually, yeah. So you usually for another type of show, you bring in a pitch deck. There, you usually have to bring in a real deck that you've built or something.
Yeah.
You have to bring in some sort of craft. And you have to move it in. So when there's not even a lobby at HGTV, it's a parking lot full of different trailers of things that people have made to show that they can get a show.
Yeah, I think it famously started with Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's when they said we can't have an office.
Yeah.
We have to. Yeah. So
We have to have a lot.
It's a giant lot in Industry City, and you sit there, and it's just like I've done some auditioning in my day too. I auditioned for a couple commercials. It's just like sitting in a waiting room for a commercial audition, where you're sitting nervously next to 55 other quintuplets who have decks and they have houses that are built just like yours.
And they're carrying them with their hands.
They're carrying them with their hands.
And they're talking to themselves and they're running through their lines while they're holding the hammer.
Exactly.
And everyone's prepping.
Exactly. So you wait to go in, and you're like, oh, God, I hope this one's different for me. And for us, it was. So
Yeah.
I built our entire story and our arc, and because we have an arc for our HGTV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your arc the arc that you pitched was amazing.
It's amazing,
And you
yeah.
kind of came up with it in the room.
Yeah. I overcome hitting my thumb with a hammer. And it's
From rags
beautiful.
to riches.
it's incredible. But I put it all on a door. And and we brought the door in, and I showed the door, and we went step by
The
step.
beautiful door.
It was ornately painted. I used hand carving techniques. It was a cedar door, and it was definitely, they're actually holding on to it now at HGTV. They use it for the door to the kitchen.
Wow.
Incredible.
I know. I heard this.
Incredible.
Insane.
It's so fun to think about our show before we kind of blew up, because I'm thinking that was before Chippy, you even had all those paint sponsorships in our show.
No.
Because now you work with
Yeah.
tons of paint companies in our episodes.
Yeah, nobody from Black & Decker, nobody from Bear, nobody was paying attention until I started And this is my advice to anybody new. You know, if you're trying to make it in paint, if you're trying to make it in Hollywood, show up to paint offices, show up to corporate headquarters and say, I have something to prove. And a lot of times their follow-up question was like, okay, how and what do you mean by that? And you have to have an answer, you know? You have to have something ready. And what I said is that I'm ready to change the world. And
how did they take that?
And they said, can you be more specific? And I said, no. And it was me putting my foot down and saying, I want to make something bigger. I want to make something bigger. I want paint to tell a story. Yeah. And eventually I was there for so long that they got so tired and delirious, and they all had to eat so bad that they just got broken down. And they were like, sure, okay, here's a shit ton of paint. Here's a shit ton of money. Go forth, make history. And that's what
you've
I
been
did.
doing. It's really been amazing. Your work with paint, I mean, even looking at this house, you have painted it yellow, you've painted it green, you've painted it black in some places.
Yeah, and I believe in more is more.
I want to say this, Chippy. I mean, no one's giving you the credit. You invented that new type of paint that changes every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Changes color.
It's true.
It's unbelievable.
It's true.
It's amazing.
Well, I've been working with incredible scientists over at GE. GE and Bear got together.
Nice.
Also with Rice Krispie treats.
So it's in our food?
Yeah.
But these Gen Zers love this changing paint more than I've seen them love anything.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love the changing paint. They paint it all over their cereal.
Yeah.
I heard. This is great.
Because it changes almost as much as their politics. What do you stand for, Gen Z?
Exactly what do you stand
Do you believe in a deck or do you not?
I know, exactly. I see
What
you
do
out
you
on those
stand
decks.
for?
Patios are just like decks. You're not cheating
You're not
in my book.
You're not cheating. I will say I have run into some trouble with the paint that changes color because we recently did, and this is a secret, this episode will never air. Well, you know, when we remade that retirement home.
Right.
And
That was
all of the people ended up getting very confused. They said, this isn't what my house looked like
Yeah.
Well,
before.
listen, Chippy, we didn't know the levels of dementia in that house. We thought there was
We
just
weren't
other.
aware.
We weren't aware. They didn't
And
let
how
us know.
would any of us know?
I
No,
wouldn't
how would-
have thought
How
we
would
should
any
do
of
that.
us know?
Yeah.
You know?
And that is why we brought on Ron, our mental health professional,
Yeah.
who audits the people.
The
who-
sixth quintuplet.
technically,
Yeah.
technically, but he is so much older than us. He does an audit with all of our couples and all the people that we're renovating for to make sure that they're going to be able to mentally withstand
100%.
their house changing so
Because,
rapidly.
listen, I couldn't think of a bigger hell than having dementia and being in an old folks' home and that home change.
Because the change, it doesn't happen rapidly. It's not. It's a slow,
No,
almost
it's a gradual
Rorschach-like thing. You can see faces. You can find.
And
it.
what a lot of our
nightmarish.
clients love,
It's absolutely nightmarish. Yeah.
what our clients love is the unpredictability. It's pain that makes you stop and wonder, am I going insane?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
what's happening to me? Am I in my house or am I in a drug trip? What's going on?
It's
Well,
hard.
that's exactly a great way of explaining it, because it's not just one paint color too. It's not going, oh, I'm changing from a green to yellow. The house starts taking on a personality of itself. Some areas remain dark colors, while some
Yeah.
areas remain very light, vibrant colors. It's really interesting.
And
Really
depending
helps
on
my
the
job out.
self-confidence
Yeah.
of the house, you can really tell which parts are
One of
upset.
my favorite parts is when a house is a dark mauve and you say the right thing and you say something like, your wood is just your wood and the pillars you were built on are just pillars. Let them go. Boom, it starts changing into this magical baby blue, a light violet. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Your wisdom, brother. I think you are.
No, namaste.
Oh,
No, namaste.
gosh. I mean, now, should we talk? We're coming up. I think we got this interview because we're coming up on our 100th episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're really excited. We are headed to the Vatican.
We're going to the Vatican.
So the Pope called the other day, and he said, "Look, I need help." And HGTV
Yeah, he
said,
needs help big time.
Big time. The church needs a facelift, and so does where the church takes place needs a facelift. So he said the last time we did it, Michelangelo came here and kind of ruined everything. So he let us jump in there and help him out in the Vatican.
It was really exciting because we're doing 100. It's really exciting because for our 100th episode, we're doing 100 windows, 100 doors, 100 planks of wood in every single room.
100 toilets.
And I want to clear up some rumors that this was a prank by a teenager that called. We checked, and I said I need to get on FaceTime with
the
Pope.
Francis.
With
I need to
Papa
get
Francesco.
With Papa Francesco. I need to see him say this because I have been pranked before.
Oh, yeah. We called our mental
all
health
have.
advisor.
We
We're
called-
like,
yeah.
are we tripping on paint?
She listened in.
What is
Or
going
he
on?
listened in. Yeah, absolutely. So this is real. You know. Oh, I got a package. This is real. Pope Francis. I'm telling you, Pope Francis legitimately wants us there.
Yeah.
He has changed the game. I mean, he's talking about homosexuality. He's talking about abortion. And now he's talking about how shitty a job Michelangelo did.
Yeah, he's finally addressing it. Now,
He's
And he
doing
wants
it
to
all.
go farmhouse.
Yeah,
he
he
wants
wants
to
a
go.
little
He
more-
wants
he
to
wants
go
He
metal.
wants to get rid of the big chair and go farmhouse.
and also, let's address also the rumors. He does have a Pinterest account that he did send us.
Yeah.
He does.
That
Yeah.
we are pulling inspo from.
He
and
loves gray wood.
It's all in Latin, but not the pictures.
not the pictures. We can
Not
make
the pictures. We
can't
can understand the pictures.
Yeah.
We
I
can.
understand the picture.
We're not touching the ceiling. We're leaving that
Yeah.
to its original. But I mean, this foundation of the home and the confidence of the home is a mess.
You would not believe the confidence issues that the Vatican has. You would think it's very confident, but it's struggling, and it's been struggling for years.
It's just a reminder to check on your pretty friends. You know what I mean?
And this is, I
Reminder.
would like to bring it up.
Sometimes
Yeah,
pretty
no.
people are suffering.
This is
Those
a great
people-
segue into
Yeah.
our philanthropy. Check on your pretty friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, our nonprofit.
Well,
Or
I mean, I
nonprofit.
think it's so easy to look at staples in your community, people who are gorgeous, people who
Yeah.
are hot,
Yeah.
and just assume that they're not sad too.
No, it's like something we realized is ugly people get checked on all the time. So we wanted.
Honestly, it's simply true.
It's simply true. It's simply true. So we wanted to just make something that would give a moment for pretty people too.
And in a way, isn't that what we're doing? Because a lot of times, like, home renovation hosts are sent to ugly houses.
Yes.
But we're one of the only people who are sent to houses that already look good.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And we just kind of fuck around with them.
yes. We went to Pharrell's home in Brentwood.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
we
Gorgeous.
tore that thing up, and that thing was gorgeous already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
we
so-
loosened some screws, we tightened some walls.
But we said this has to fit your personality more, so we replaced the floor with indoor trampolines.
yeah.
Everything.
And believe it or not, you can heat those trampolines up if you're cold.
Yeah, they're heated blanket trampolines.
And the stove plays happy on a loop forever.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
He hated it, so
Oh,
we're not
yeah.
going to air that episode.
No, we can't
unfortunately.
air it. There's a lot we can't air. I also want to mention, we talk about pretty people. We say this because we're pretty people. We're
Right. Yeah.
quintuplets. This is technically partially a podcast, so that a lot of people might not know what we look like if you don't watch our show. How about we describe what our one look is, since we all look exactly the
Yeah,
same?
that sounds great.
Well,
I
I would say huge cheekbones.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, I'm speaking to you from a huge cheekbone.
a healthy tongue.
Healthy tongue. We've got thick black eyebrows.
Yeah, and those brows are so symmetrical to each other, and we don't realize that gives us a lot of privilege.
We got short on the side, long on the top,
Yeah, you're talking about our
hair,
Yeah, short on the side, long on the top.
and our
also, our
noses.
teeth are short on the side, long on the top.
Toes are short on the side, long on the top.
Yeah.
And we're all relatively married to very pretty people as well.
Exactly.
And
We're 6'8".
we're 6'8". All of
Yeah.
us are 6'8".
Which makes it challenging to get into basements, small spaces,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, that's where Arnie comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, love
Arnie is short,
Arnie's
He's the
a
one
short
quintuplet
Arnie
that
is
doesn't
short.
look like us.
and he does not look like us.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's everybody's asking constantly for our advice, and this might be a great time to bring up some advice. So when you guys walk into a home, what is something that can help any homeowner, zhuzh up their place? What are you guys thinking? It could be like layman's advice,
Yeah. Well, as soon as you're into that front door and you close it, what's around it? Did you build one of those little cubby hole places where people put their shoes and where people hang their coats? Do you have a little vestibule, or are you getting right into it? I am obviously a staunch fan of open the door, I'm in the kitchen. Open the door, I'm in the living room. I want you to be in the middle. I don't
Cut
want
out
some,
the middleman.
Cut out the middleman. I
When
don't
you-
want some middle
When you
point.
start a movie, the movie starts.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You don't start a movie, something else starts.
No, you know when I start Forrest Gump when he's on that shrimp boat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
when the movie starts for
Start
me.
in the middle of the action.
I blindly jump 40 minutes into every movie and I start it then because there's so much exposition.
Just get inside the house.
Tell me what we're doing.
Get in the house. Get off the deck
Absolutely,
and get in the house.
Get off the deck, get in the house.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I
so your
would
advice is to cut out a part of their house. I love that.
Well, just blow it out. You know, we're opening the doors. A lot more stuff in your house is load bearing than you think it is.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so true.
Will you say
yeah.
that one more time? If anybody just missed that.
A lot more stuff in your house is load bearing than you think it is.
And you
Yeah.
never know until you try.
No,
right?
exactly.
You'll never know. So you gotta just be bold. Start hanging things on lamps. Start hanging things on the
it.
refrigerators. Start hanging things on your blinds.
Yep.
You're never gonna know unless you try. And you can't spend your entire life wondering if you can hang your anvils from places. You
Be
gotta
messy,
just find
be
out.
brave.
Be brave.
Be messy, be brave.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say in
Yeah.
the plumbing. Be messy and be brave.
Yeah.
I don't, to
Yeah.
be honest, I don't like that you say that
Yeah,
about some of
it
the
is-
plumbing.
Oh no,
It's
I
tough.
love being back there playing with the pipes and being like, could we
Well, this
hook-
is some of the feedback we've gotten. Is that
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. You are not a fan of hiding pipes. You let the pipes go everywhere. You are so proud of your plumbing, you let people see the pipes.
Yeah.
And you also use clear pipes. That's a big part of what you like to do.
Well, we did that. We did that for a while. And it's like it's also a huge topic of conversation that each house has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to see inside the pipe, and some people do. And what about those people, right?
Sure.
So it's fun to experiment with that. It's really fun to experiment with visibility in the plumbing parts of your house. Why do we hide that? Why can we not talk about how the house is actually running? What's crazy to me is that I can turn the sink off. Where did the water go?
Don't
Right?
you know that,
Yeah.
though? You're a plumber.
Yes, but I think a layman is what we're talking about. It's good to just know that the water went somewhere, right? And you're going to get it back.
It's peace of mind.
It's
yeah.
peace of mind. It's be messy, be brave, and just have that peace of mind
Yeah.
that the house works. Let's see it. Let's see it work. You know what I mean?
That's great. Yeah. That is feedback we've gotten, though, is people do walk into the bathroom and they go, it is messy and I feel like I have to be brave in here. But you take that as a compliment, and I love that about
Well,
you.
then when you get my brother Chippy in here painting the orange and the messy turns into brave when the orange goes into polka dot purple.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
what I would say is really fun about the new paint that we're developing over at GE is that
And
we
Bear.
can write secret and Bear, of course. I don't
Nice.
want to leave out the good people
Oh,
at Bear
don't forget Rice Krispies.
and Rice Krispies Incorporated.
Super.
Yeah, like we are able to hide messages in the walls for the homeowners to find later.
Wow, what are some of the messages you guys have been hiding?
So cool you guys are able to do that.
What a wonderful feature.
The science is finally letting you
AI
do it.
has gotten crazy.
It's really awesome because it's like, we're only here for a week. And when that episode ends, we want something lasting. So once we've left the house, we have it timed so that the paint will read goodbye, or we miss you, or we're watching, we're always with you, and things like that. We have gotten some feedback that it's driven people to question reality a little
It
bit.
has scared some kids.
But
It's
that's
scared some
not
kids.
that's not on us. That is again on Ron because Ron should have checked that.
Yeah.
He should have checked.
He sh-
And also, there's therapy available everywhere. So I really it's
Yeah.
kind of none of my business.
Before
yeah.
we put secret messages in the house, we should know the stability of the client.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
that is on us, of course. And I will say my layman's tip if any of you out there are just starting to do some DIY projects, paint the carpet.
Oh, I love that.
I love that
love
tip.
that.
That's an
I
easy
love
tip.
that.
That's an easy tip for anybody. That's an easy
It's
tip.
an easy
I
tip
love
to
that so
upgrade
much.
your place.
Try
Just
it.
paint the
A
carpet.
quick punch up is just paint the carpet.
Just paint the carpet.
Choose a color
Be
and
messy.
paint.
Be brave. Try it.
You'll never know until you try.
Yeah.
Paint the carpet and see how it feels.
Just
Mhm.
see how it feels. That works for single mothers. That works for people living in apartments.
It works for married mothers.
Mhm.
Oh, it does.
Works great for frat bros.
Just
Mhm.
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just try it.
One question I'm always getting is, do you guys really do all that in 5 days?
Yes. Yes.
we do.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Well, we have
Yeah.
we have teams that come with us.
Sure.
Sure. We have. I mean, I have.
Let's talk about our teams, I guess.
Oh yeah, let's talk about our team.
Yeah,
Let's talk about our team.
Yeah, I guess we have. Well, sure, we have people who help in a production standpoint.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We
Yeah.
have people who drive us there.
Of
course. Sure. I mean, sure.
Yeah, because we should address the rumors that there's no way you all can do that by yourselves in 5 days.
Yeah, and we do.
But we do. We
But
do.
we do. But we
do.
have a
We have teams, but we do.
we kind
Team.
of have teams.
We have Ron,
We have
mental
Ron,
health.
mental
Mhm.
health.
He's team.
And we have a guy who holds the nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
But
If I'm
look,
gonna.
he's not in the house.
Yeah, exactly. And look, the truth is, if I need to take a house roller skating so it can build its confidence back, yeah, I'm gonna need a team to
It's
help me with
heavy.
Yeah.
It's a heavy home.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes you have a lot of carpet in there. Sometimes you need a couple hands.
that. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But
Sure.
we're
But
not using
5
any.
days.
Yeah, we're not using
five-ish
yeah.
days.
I mean, it's we need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And you know what?
But we do most of it. I
If
mean, yes.
you had 5 days, you can do anything in 5 days if you apply yourself. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, people don't want to work
I'm
anymore.
sorry.
No, it's
sleep
just
when you're
the
dead.
worst. Yes.
Guys, front doors are my passion. I
Mhm.
build front doors, okay, in 5 days. Do I have technically a team of people who design and build the door?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I also
But
want
I
to say
built the door.
congratulations. You built the most terrifying corn maze I've ever seen because for that Halloween episode we
That
did.
was so fun when
Yeah.
we tore that person's house down and made it a corn maze.
Yeah.
and the corn was all doors. And
It
the
was.
doors led to other doors. And I went through that thing and I could not find my way out for
No.
8 hours.
And you
Yeah.
didn't have dementia.
No.
And we've checked. We get daily checks by
Yeah.
Ron.
Well, we have a fun thing. Ron brings a test every day for us. 10 questions, and depending on how we fill out the questions, he says, you can go out or you have to stay behind doors today.
Right, exactly. We're all hanging out in our. We all live together.
Yeah.
We hang out in the little playroom we share, and then Ron comes in. He says, "I have a fun game for us
Uh-huh.
to play."
Yeah.
The fun
And-
thing is, if you answer 5 or less, you can't go outside. But also, if you answer 10 perfectly, you've gone psychotic and you can't go outside too.
And that's
So the
something
sweet spot
we-
is 6
yeah.
through 9.
Yeah.
That's something we put on ourselves. No one's doing that to us. It's not like
No,
some
it's a
other
check.
person.
It's
We
a check.
asked for this.
The network isn't doing that. The
No.
network
No.
is
It doesn't have the
actually.
nuts.
No,
Just-
we
yeah.
said it's in our rider. We have to stay in the playpen. That's
Yeah.
where we feel safe.
If
That's where
anything,
we
the
sit.
network's a little scared of us. So
Exactly.
they
You're
don't, they
actually,
don't-
which is fun. This is part of the house, but we brought in our playpen. This is actually the wall of the playpen, if
This
you can
is right
see.
here.
If you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see,
yeah.
it's a white wall. It's sort of meant to calm the brain and set everything back to 0.
Yeah. We call it our neutral mother.
Uh,
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
So
but
I guess
yeah.
my advice would be, give your house a hug. Whatever you're feeling, if you're at odds with your house, if you're feeling, you gotta embrace. You've got to start the trauma dumping somewhere.
Which part of the house is best to hug, would you say?
Oh, there's so many, and every house is different. But a sink is a place to hug.
Which part?
Boy,
The
that's
faucet
true.
The
or the
the generalized. You want to get in that base. If you can, open the cupboards underneath and give that house a hug.
that
Right.
sink
It's
is
the-
doing a lot of work,
Mhm.
guys.
I mean,
Mhm.
if you really look at the bottom of a sink, it does look like a cow's udder.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah.
So
It's the
you
milk,
can
but
really get your
also the
arms
top
around
of the sink is the faucet where the house cries.
Ah,
So if you're
beautiful.
running your sink too much, your house is bawling its eyes out, which is not bad. I don't want to say crying is bad.
No, it's not
I
because
just
we
wanna
all
say-
do it,
Yeah.
and sometimes it comes in waves.
Do you
Yeah.
want to address the show that just got canceled that you and Karamo were going to do together?
Yeah, let's talk about collabs.
Yeah, it's good.
because-
It'd be a
yeah.
good time to bring it up. Me and Karama from Queer Eye, we're going to do a great show.
Karamo, yeah.
Karamo, me and
Yeah, yeah.
Karamo, we're about to do a.
See, I heard
I'm
this is
wondering
part of
this
the
was
problem.
part
This is
of
the
why
problem.
it fell apart.
I
Here
kept
we
on forgetting who he
go.
was. I forgot who he was. I didn't
Karama.
really know his name, and we're
Kept
both
calling him
in
I
the.
Karama.
I don't wanna
really
be
was
bad
trying
karma.
to push. Yeah, I was really trying to push a couple
I
catchphrases.
Oh,
Phrases.
he
Drama.
really tried to make it work with you.
Yeah,
He really
he
did.
Was, and I try to make it work with him, but it's just a difference of opinions of how things should work. I wanted to make I Karama the handle, the fun thing, and also I'm trying to get my karma Karama. Turns out that's not his name, and he did not like that.
Karama Chameleon, you call them.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
Karama Chameleon.
Maybe we don't do it anymore, though.
Okay, yeah, no, sure,
because-
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of fell through. We're still trying to work out the contracts, but what we were going to do is get bad straight men into bad straight houses and see if they could come together and learn from each other. It was going to be a really fun mashup thing.
So it's just straight men in a shitty house. And then you guys.
It's exposing America.
That was the idea. That was the idea.
What was that called again? Straight Man Bad House?
Yeah, it was called Straight Man Bad House. Where we were going to get a bad straight man and a bad house, a bad straight house, put them together and see if we could build them back together.
Because sometimes two wrongs make a right.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
sometimes, you multiply
Yeah.
two negatives.
And
it
there's a
comes
bad
out
thing,
positive.
like because of this like kind of system online and because nobody wants to get to work anymore, men are struggling and men houses are struggling too. So it's time to rebuild a little bit of that masculine energy, that positive masculinity, you know? So it completely fell through and it didn't work at all. The first episode was a disaster.
Do you and Karamo still talk?
No. I email him all the catchphrases every once in a while just to like go
Yeah.
see if there's
Yeah, I
anything there.
bet.
I worry that I was too crazy at our dinner when he came over.
When we invited him
You
into
were a
Playpen.
little
Yeah,
wild.
we
You
invited
were
him
a
to
little
play.
wild. You guys were all a little wild. I will say that was.
What do you guys think?
We were just having so much fun. We were so excited to meet Karamo.
We found that big bug that day.
Yeah.
And we found that bug.
That
And
thing
that
was
bug-
huge.
It was
No,
huge.
It was
so
the
big.
biggest bug, and it was on our off day. And
It was like 2 or 3 inches big.
And Karamo
my
just
God.
wasn't interested, and I'm sorry. Sometimes you
It's
just get the
hard.
zoomies. We're in the playpen all day long.
it was mac and cheese night.
Remember when I posted on Facebook, nothing like finding a big bug on your off day.
He didn't even like it.
And you
We
tagged
all
him
liked
in it.
it,
You
and
tagged
he
him in
didn't
it,
even
and he
like
untagged
tagged
himself.
him. We couldn't wait to
I
show him
can't
the
believe
bug.
who untags themselves from a hilarious Facebook status.
Who
It's-
does?
Yeah.
I don't want
there's
to
no-
speak bad about Karamo.
No,
This
no,
is
no, no. It's
fantastic.
all good. It's all good. But yeah, it was just a difference of personalities
Well,
at
we
the
have
end of the day.
other collabs that are really successful. I mean, you and Crocs and Doors. Have
Yeah,
a-
me and Crocs indoors.
you have,
Indoors?
no, doors.
Crocs and doors.
You have
Crocs
like a line
indoors.
of doors
Yeah, I have
that
door
are Crocs.
Crocs. I have door
door
Crocs.
Crocs, sorry.
Yeah, so these are Crocs that you can wear exclusively when you're crossing through a door.
So they exist in the negative space
A
between
slipper of some
inside and
kind.
They're
outside.
kind of a slipper that you
take
can
off
attach
quick.
'em. They have hooks in them, so you can hook them on the door. And when you're walking through, if you don't want to get any dirt in the doorway, you can use these Crocs.
That's genius.
And it's really fun. We made them
so fun.
They made them out of woods. A lot of people are saying they're just clogs, and I said no, they're wooden Crocs.
Yeah.
And that's
And-
awesome for Crocs.
Exactly. It's awesome for Crocs. I think Crocs is like loves me, like wants me at all their events.
Because when
Yeah.
they came over, that was a fun night.
We
That was
hit it
fun.
off.
That
They,
was
they
fun.
were right there with us.
we were having so much fun. We were playing telephone for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 PR people with Crocs.
Yeah.
Remember?
We drank so many hard
And,
seltzers.
and Ron came in and he said, "Guys, it's 4 a.m."
Yeah. But it was so crazy because you said the first line you said was like the bananas in the hammock. And by the end, it was the bananas in the bannock.
It was crazy.
Blew
And
my
that's
mind.
not even a word, you guys. I
Neither
still
of those.
can't
When
get
I
over
whispered
it.
in your ear, the bananas in the hammock, I was like, what is going on?
We were
This
like,
is not a word. What was the beginning of this?
Oh my god.
I mean,
that night killed me.
That was a good
And
night.
Crocs was there for it. They loved it.
I'm getting the wave from our brand rep.
Oh.
It's HGTV.
Oh, yeah.
8 p.m. on Sundays, and starting in, I think it's May 2023, they're going to give us 4 full hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
We're really excited about
And
the
that's an
fourth
hour
hour.
each.
The
Yeah,
fourth hour
the
is gonna be
fourth hour is
fantastic.
when we take houses and we turn them upside down and see if they still work.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
gonna be
It's-
so fun. It's kind of a betting game. People
Yeah.
bring their houses, betting that they're gonna work if they turn them upside down, and when they don't, they lose. If they win, they have their house
Yeah, and we're-
upside down.
And we're
Yeah.
gonna show the fun side of a mudslide, right? We're gonna show how fun it could be if a home goes down, right? It'll
Yeah,
be
we're
really
in bed
fun.
with the mudslide industry. It's
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of this show is a psyop to prepare people for when their houses flip upside down
We should
by
make that clear.
mudslide.
So that is another show.
Yeah,
That's
so we should be
another
clear.
show.
Yeah.
And we quickly
Right.
just talked about 3 shows. We have, of course, the Property Quintuplets.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Where we're renovating shows and finding new shows
Yes.
and or renovating houses, finding new houses.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have flip flop.
Flip
Yeah,
flop the
flip-flop,
house.
which is where we turn
flip-flop.
the house upside
Yeah,
down.
flip-
I
flop.
came up with that name.
And then we have the fun side of the mudslide.
Fun slide of the mudslide's a passion project. I think it's just it's gonna be so fun when we get on those inflatables and we slide down the mudslide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of your partnership too, because it was kind of like the plumbing idea and a mudslide idea. It felt like ballpark, so we just thought that's great chemistry. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, and I think I have always it's crazy to like be on TV for one thing and one thing only, right?
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
so known as plumbing, but I also have a huge passion for mud, and I and it's like
You're in the mud
I-
all the time.
I love mud, and that's how you found me when you found that big bug. I was outside in the
Yeah,
mud.
you're in the mud.
I'm
rolling
so
around.
glad you were there to
Thank
find
you.
that big
Thank
bug
you.
because
Well, that's what I love about mud is that we can find so much stuff in there and so
What are
much.
some other things you like about mud?
I love how playful it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can
Yeah.
almost hear mud laugh when you're playing with it.
yeah.
It feels yeah. I love mud, and I also think that like Americans are just so like, oh, mud is just unsafe, and I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think mud is pushed to the side because it's not as pretty as water.
We gotta destigmatize mud.
Yeah.
Because water is gorgeous, we need water, but what it makes mud water.
we're too sanitized in this country.
We are, so
we
yeah.
aren't getting down into what Mother Nature is offering us, which is, it's the things that are real. It's
Yeah.
the things you could
No,
touch.
yeah.
So we have those
That's-
three shows,
And that's like a great, because you actually have a brand collab with Toothpaste, right?
I do. It's so as a human you could go to the dentist, right? But
yeah, that is true.
yeah. But if you're
preach, preach.
and I'm not afraid to say it. But if you're a wall, no one is sending you a postcard in the mail every 6 months saying that you should come get a checkout.
Mm.
No one is looking out for you. So what I've started doing is these sort of televised star-studded specials where we've developed a toothpaste to brush your walls' teeth. And by teeth I mean bricks. And we've gotten great people. We've gotten Carrie Underwood. We've
a
got Clay Aiken,
A
and
gem.
we've got Ruben, all American Idol alums, and we've gotten together this amazing song. It's super catchy, and I don't want to spoil it, but
Come on, give us a little.
well, okay. I'll drop half of the chorus, so it kind of goes. We are the teeth of the building. We are the teeth that are in the walls. We get brushed all day. And then that's the rest.
And that's the rest.
That's the rest. And that's the rest of the song. It just goes on like
And
that.
that's the rest of the song.
Okay.
And
So you did spoil the whole song.
well, I didn't because you still haven't heard it over and over and over again.
But that's the
So
rest.
I only spoiled.
Thank you for telling us the rest of that song.
But I haven't spoiled it because you have to hear Carrie and Clay do it.
No, it's
Oh,
got
I
to be
bet it
better.
sounds
And
amazing.
Ruben. Don't
And
forget
Ruben.
Ruben.
Yeah, he does the first part.
Oh, he just
Oh,
and then
okay.
the rest is
The
Carrie.
rest.
And that's the rest.
And that's the rest.
I understand why you didn't maybe want to reveal it because it is exactly the tune of "We Are the
Yeah,
World."
I was just about to say. I
Really, I'm not really hearing that.
you're not.
No, I mean, I guess.
We are the wall.
I mean, sure. I guess I was influenced by it.
okay.
That sounded a little different.
Yeah,
for
why
me.
was that?
Did it?
No.
No.
Oh no.
Oh,
don't
no.
cry.
Did it sound different?
No, don't
Oh,
cry.
don't
cry.
cry.
feel like you don't like me because I deal with pipes and
Look, exposed pipe.
Oh,
Exposed
look,
pipe.
Wow.
Look,
at that.
shiny.
Look.
There we go.
the way the house works.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
see the way the house works.
It's okay.
Yeah, we can.
All right, guys. Well,
It sounds like nap time is
Yeah.
along.
I want to give some advice to anybody out there who's looking to work with a twin. Just before we head out, because
Yeah.
working with quintuplets,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we can keep it together. For a
No,
second.
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
This is
no.
really important because we're homemakers second, but twins first.
Always.
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 Quintuplets first. I mean, we're always, we use twin as a blanket term because it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hard. It has a better mouthfeel, like
Yeah.
quintuplets.
It's
Yeah.
confusing, and we've been
Quintuplets.
fighting for a change for years now, and it just doesn't look like
We've been
it's gonna
trying to
happen.
change the legislation to legislation. We've been trying to change the legislation to make it so that quintuplets is less hard to
Yeah,
say.
legislation is a very specific part of the government where you combine legislation and illustration.
Yeah.
You try to
Because
draw
it's the
what you're
illustration of the language and the legislation of the laws that come together.
Pictures of legislation.
It's a great sector of the government where you can kind of walk into the building and go, "What's the deal with this?" And then they fix it.
You give them a drawing and they say we're on it.
feeling. So yeah, as twins, let's give some advice.
Yeah.
I guess the elephant in the room: never kiss romantically. Yeah, never kiss
Yeah.
romantically.
Yeah.
We've run into that before, and it's just something to avoid.
Yeah. I would say don't rely on that twin pathway. A lot of people think, oh, twins know how to complete each other's sentences and stuff like that.
Don't rely on it.
Don't rely on it. 'cause
Don't rely.
It's not-
It'll get you in
especially-
trouble.
Especially when it comes to television production, it's not as strong as you think.
No.
How
No.
many takes? How many takes we have to do?
Especially when it comes to rolling the dice on what's load bearing and what isn't.
It's cool. We're pretty good at rock paper scissors.
No,
we
we
can
agree.
usually
Yeah,
anticipate.
Yeah, we're good
what-
at
Yeah.
Monopoly.
But when it comes to, we'll just rely on our twin telepathy to not do a pre-pro meeting,
Yeah.
that's not going to work.
We don't do call sheets. We do intuition.
No, and that doesn't work.
It just won't.
It doesn't work.
You'll be
Yeah.
at different places at different times.
You need call sheets.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't- it's not that
I
strong.
really thought it was going to work because we Ron emails us intuition time, and we all close our eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hoping
Yeah.
that we got it, but I guess it just doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My advice to twins would be paint the sink.
That's your advice to twins.
My
That's
advice to
wonderful.
twins.
Paint the sink.
Yeah.
Embrace whimsy. Paint the sink.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I love that. I think my advice to twins is always find something that makes you you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about our show. I love about our lifestyle is nothing different. We do everything together, but
Mhm.
our show separates us. And I think like just in raising twins, in raising quintuplets, you just need to know what your own thing is. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important.
yeah.
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 So go out there and find something. Is it the color blue? Is it, sinks? Is it paint? Just find the thing that makes you you. Is it the fruit orange,
Yeah,
Is
the
it
fruit
that-
orange?
Oh my God. We forgot to feed Arnie.
Oh,
no.
This has been Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists answering the question. Now that's why they call it show business. We'll see you next time.
Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists is an improvised Hollywood Roundtable podcast created, performed, and produced by Kylie Brakeman, Jeremy Culhane, Angelo Giarratana, and Patrick McDonald. AOA is a Sugar 23 podcast. Mike Mayer and Michael Sugar, executive producers. Liam Billingham, producer. Production support by Angelo Restaino and Anthony Defranchesco. Music is by Gabriel Ponton. The opinions expressed on this podcast do not reflect the opinions of anyone who works on it, not even the performers, because this is an improvised podcast and we're stupid. Full video versions of AOA are available on YouTube, so please like and subscribe and leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Good night, Hollywood!